Christie Brinkley is a model who rose to prominence in the 1970s and has seen a staggering amount of success in the industry since. She continues to work to this day, and her career has survived a couple of tumultuous public divorces. At age 67, Christie still looks nearly as good as ever and loves posting bikini pictures on Instagram. In addition to continuing her own modeling career, she's also currently helping her daughter, 23-year-old Sailor Lee Brinkley Cook, find her own footing in the industry. All this after surviving a helicopter crash and postponing back surgery for more than 2 decades. Join Facts First as we explore what happened to Christie Brinkley, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. Christie Brinkley was born February 2, 1954 in Monroe, Michigan. When she was still young, her mother separated from her father, and the two moved to California. They found a home in L.A., and Christie's mother soon became married to a TV writer named Donald Brinkley. After marrying her mother, Donald went through the process of officially adopting Christie as well as her brother. It was at this point she became officially Christie Brinkley, having been born Christie Hudson. Young Christie Brinkley fit right in around the beaches of L.A. thanks to her natural good looks and charm. She also dedicated herself to her studies, becoming proficient enough in French that she was able to move to Paris after graduating high school. Christie moved to the French city in 1972, where it was her dream to become a famous painter. Although she ended up achieving this dream in a fashion decades later, another career was calling for her first. Only a year after arriving in Paris, a photographer named Errol Sawyer spotted Christie while walking down the street and demanded she be his model. Christie relented, and the photos ended up being shared with numerous people in the industry. Almost overnight, Christie found herself a sought-after model. Christie had never intended to be a model, having wanted to live the quiet life of an artist. However, she was won over by the good life. Over the course of the 70s, Christie rose in prominence until she was on pretty much every magazine cover gracing the newsstands. She could be seen plastered on magazines like Rolling Stone, Cosmopolitan, and Vogue, though her most iconic magazine appearances didn't begin until she donned her first Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Issue cover in 1979. After her appearance on that cover, she continued to appear on the cover of the annual publication for the next 2 years. Her appearances on these 3 Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Issue covers have gone down in history as the model's most iconic work, though they stand only as the tip of the iceberg when it comes to her immense career before and since. Following her 3rd appearance in Sports Illustrated, Christie maintained the status of a household name over the ensuing decade. Besides Christie Brinkley's numerous appearances doing photo shoots for magazines, she also had numerous advertising contracts with various brands. Throughout the 80s, Christie could be seen trying to sell varied products such as diet soda, credit cards, and cars. She also began to venture into acting, with one of her most notable roles being in the classic 1983 comedy National Lampoon's Vacation. It was during filming of National Lampoon's Vacation that she was introduced to Billy Joel. Christie had already been married once to a man named Jean-Francois Allot. The two had married in 1973 and divorced in 81. She was single when she met Billy Joel, and the two quickly hit it off. 2 years after their initial meeting, Christie and Billy got married. During the period of time Christie was married to Billy Joel, she took a bit of a break from modeling to focus once again on painting. Her modeling success allowed her to support herself while following her passion, and she even painted one of her new husband's album covers. She painted the cover of Billy Joel's 1993 album, River of Dreams, which is the last album of popular music that the musician has recorded up until this point. Sadly, the two got divorced only a year later, in August of 1994. During their marriage, Christie and Billy had 1 child together. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like, and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. And stick around for more about Christie Brinkley. The same year Christie Brinkley divorced from second husband Billy Joel, she got into a terrifying helicopter crash while on a ski trip in Colorado. While flying over the popular ski resort Telluride, the helicopter Christie was in lost control and crashed. There were 5 other survivors, and Christie was left with hip pain that tormented her for several decades. According to Christie, she knew the pain in her hip was going to necessitate surgery sometime down the line, but she wanted to put the surgery off for as long as she could. She found the surgery more intimidating than she found the pain, but the pain eventually became too much for her to deal with. It wasn't until just recently that Christie Brinkley finally decided to get the surgery to fix this hip pain. She received a full hip replacement in 2020 and has felt much better in the time since. According to her, it was the COVID pandemic that made her feel the need to get the surgery, as her boredom made it so she couldn't ignore the pain. Christie has continued working well into the new millennium, with much of her work being on television. Though the beloved model hasn't appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated recently, she has made guest appearances on notable TV programs like Parks and Recreation and The Goldbergs. Christie also performed in a stage version of the musical Chicago and performed for a time as a co-host of Anderson Cooper Live. Christie Brinkley's time as a co-host of Anderson Cooper Live showcases a different side of the model than is normally seen in her photo shoots. In addition to being a timeless beauty, Christie is also a humanitarian. She's won awards for her work with organizations like the American Heart Association and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. When she isn't furthering her humanitarian efforts, she's helping her daughter, 23-year-old sailor Lee Brinkley Cook, navigate a newfound modeling career. In addition to having an active social media just like her mother, Sailor is also signed to her mother's same agency. Sailor was born from Christie's marriage to Peter Cook, which ended in 2008. The two married in 1996, 2 years after Christie separated from Billy Joel. Sailor was their only child. Although Christie and Peter's marriage didn't end well, Sailor has a positive relationship with both parents. But it's her mother she looks to for guidance when trying to make sense of the modeling industry. Sailor was given her first modeling contract at age 15, when she signed to IMG Models in 2013. She signed with the agency at the same time as her mother, who was switching agencies after having worked with rival company Elite Model Management for many years. In the time since being signed to IMG, Sailor has become a force to be reckoned with in the modeling industry. She looks much like her mother did at the peak of her success. She's also found success by appearing in the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Issue. Other magazines she's been seen in include Vogue and Marie Claire. She and her mother also did a photo shoot for the magazine Bella. In 2019, Christie was set to perform on the 28th season of Dancing with the Stars when she broke her arm during rehearsals. Because of this, Sailor stepped in to take her mother's place. Although Sailor was the third to be eliminated, she still made her mother proud. While Christie Brinkley isn't revealing herself in magazines quite as much anymore, you can still catch glimpses of her in bikinis on her social media. The 67-year-old model loves posting bikini pictures on her Instagram, which is a habit she says she won't be giving up soon. She looks incredible for her age, so we can't say we blame her. According to Christie, she thinks it's her responsibility to showcase her legs to the world so long as they're still looking good. After nearly 5 decades in the industry, it seems like Christie Brinkley isn't going anywhere soon. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know Christie was still working at 67? Or did you think she'd retired? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.